Fuck wasps. Wasps are the scum of the earth. They're like that one kid in your class who's paired up with you who does none of the work and still gets the same amount of credit as you. They're so fucking useless. Last night I couldn't even fall asleep because I remembered that wasps exist just to fuck with honeybees and other small insects, but mostly honeybees. And I thought, fuck these assholes. So I did some research on wasps and found out that I was right. They're just useless fucking assholes. Just with one quick Google search, I typed in, "Are wasps useful?" Google says, fuck no. So I was like, fuck wasp. Sure, they make honey, but bees do that job 10 times better without trying to go on a goddamn killing spree. Bees also have more honor than wasps. Wasp comes to a bee's nest. Bee ain't no snitch. He's just going to tell him with pheromones and a taco accent, "Yo, dog, you can't be acting sturdy here. Keep stepping on our terrain, and we're gonna have a problem. So please exit our premises, I say." Then the wasp tells the bee in a slightly Jewish accent,
"Go fuck yourself. I'm gonna take your honey."
and then the bee says,
"Let's see how long you last. Prank 'em, John." That's right, I say. We all named John.
And also, for the people who are in favor of wasps, I hate you. Let me tell you, have you ever been stung by a wasp or a bee? No? Well, neither have I, but at least with the bee, you get the benefit of knowing that the little homie's dead. And it's not a fast death, it's a gruesome death. When a bee stings you, it doesn't just die because the stinger was attached to its heart or anything. It's because when the stinger gets stuck, and when the bee pulls out, its intestine, muscle, and venom sac are also pulled out. It's honestly tragic. But with a wasp, if it stings you, it doesn't die. Motherfucker keeps living, and it can just regrow another stinger just to keep stinging you. So, you can get stung multiple times by the same wasp within the same week. Because a little shitter holds grudges. The only time when a bee stings you is if you mess with it. And that's why you always hear people say, just leave the bee alone. If you don't mess with it, it won't mess with you. And I've seen this, and you probably also have seen this too. You go to a party that's outdoors, and a bee's just chilling on a Sprite can or something. Nobody gives a fuck, because the bee is just a cool dude like Snoop Dogg. Homie's just chilling, sucking on that good. But if you see a wasp land on that same soda can, you're gonna have a flight or fight reaction. Either you kill the wasp, or you just walk away from your soda can like a little bitch getting punked out by a fucking wasp. And you have that response because you know, unlike bees, wasps are the equivalent of tiny flying douchebags, and the little bitch will do everything in its power to make that party into a living nightmare. Whether it just be flying around guests, faking them out, thinking that it's gonna sting them like a little bitch, or the wasp is going to outright sting them, because that's the type of garbage they are.
God, I hate wasps.
Another thing, have you ever tried to kill a wasp? Because I have. The little shit was flying around me as I was watering the grass, and I say out loud, "You little shit! If you get close to me, I'm gonna hit you with the hose." Sure enough, the idiot gets close to me and I spray him down. And as I'm spraying it, I move the hose away just to see if it's dead or not, because I just waterboarded this little motherfucker. But nope, it ain't dead. So this time, I'm in serious mode. I place my Crocs into sports mode and squeeze the hose to make the water pressure stronger. So now I'm just fucking treating this wasp like a prisoner of war. After a good minute and a half of doing this, I'm like, surely it's dead. I just basically drowned it, and there's a pretty sizable puddle in the grass where I was spraying the bitch. Turns out, bitch is alive. And I'm like, what? So I decided, alright, I'm gonna curb stomp this little idiot. So I stomp on it, but because it's on grass, the wasp is protected by the fluff of the grass, and as I lift my foot up from the stomp, it flies up, and I can see it in its eyes. The thing is pissed. So I'm like, I did not just shadowbox in my room for a good couple of weeks just to get punked out by a little bitch ass wasp. So I start swinging at the motherfucker. And as it's slowly coming to me, because again, I just waterboarded the little bitch, and you know, it's got to be kind of slowed down by the water that it has to, I guess, brush off. And I don't know if Muhammad Ali trained Wasp in his free time, but the dude was dodging and weaving my attacks. I'm giving it a left jab, a left hook. I'm giving it combos that I thought it's never seen before. I'm like a fucking Tekken character. But apparently, the wasp is a gamer and is just dodging my shit. Eventually, I land a blow, left jab, by the way, scraping it right with the bare of my knuckle. That was enough to send the dude flying like goddamn Team Rocket. So a week passes, and another one comes out of nowhere. So I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna go inside. 1 was a hassle, but 2 is a problem. And one more thing, wasps just look gross in general. Look at this bee. Now look at this wasp. Now back to the bee. Notice something? Because I do. The kind, elegant bee looks kind of chubby, slightly furry. Some may say that it should be impossible for a bee to fly because of the size of its wings and the chonkiness of itself. But the bee continues to fly because bees don't care about anything other than their job. They are, indefinitely, suave savants of a dignified work ethic. Whereas a wasp Looks like some sort of abomination created by an art student with a strong attraction to monster design. Look at the middle of the wasp. It looks like someone cut a slice out of it as if it was a cake. That is a solid 90 degrees if I've ever seen one. And look at those wings. They're just so hideous, so long and straight. It just looks so gross. And look, check out these legs. Whereas a bee, it looks kind of goofy, kind of cute, you know, like it's wearing little shin guards on its little legs. Oh, honey, don't forget to wear your shin guards when you're collecting nectar. Oh, I mean, they're just cute. What can I say? I mean, look at the guy. Oh, look at him. However, the wasp looks just gross. You remember that line from Always Sunny? D, you gangly uncoordinated bitch. Yeah, well, that word, that's what these legs remind me of. Gangly. And bitch, well, that's just self-explanatory. The fucking wasp is a bitch. Wasps are just ill, they're gross. Also, I did some actual research, as you can see here, and found out that wasps are just assholes to be assholes. They don't do anything other than just prey on small bugs like caterpillars, flies, crickets, and other small bugs. And it's not like they eat bugs that fuck with the ecosystem. It's just small shit that any other animal or insect would have eaten if they were in the same position the wasp was in. Wasps, in their purest form, are just dirtbags filled with shit that fly around and remind you of hunter-killer drones from Black Ops 2, but with the cunt mode permanently turned on just to annoy the shit out of you and can also follow you inside. And in the summer and fall, they just fuck with bees to steal their honey and still eat little bugs, so really, they didn't really fucking change at all, they just became more cunty around summer and fall. And the part that really annoys me about wasps is the fact that I mentioned, where in the summer and fall, they invade honey beehives just to steal honey from the bees. Why, you may ask? Well, it's because they get a craving for sugar around that time. Like, what the fuck? Just go back to eating harmless bugs and laying eggs inside of their body while they're alive, you fucking useless blockhead. Go be useless somewhere else. Don't mess with bees just because, unlike you, they have actual jobs that if they don't do, will literally kill everyone on the planet. You don't have to be a cunt. I may sound like an old man yelling at the sky for being too blue, but I just fucking hate wasps. They're just assholes. They fly around killing shit because they feel like it. They're the type of guy to say, I like it when the toilet gives me splash damage. They take honey from hardworking bees. They can repeatedly sting you if they want. And notice how I say want. Yup, they don't do it out of defense. They do it because they want to. They don't die easily, so now you have to double tap the motherfuckers like a fucking zombie if you want them to stay down. They look ugly as shit. And I'm not a guy who judges a book by its cover, but in this case, if a wasp was a book in a library, then nobody would go near the vicinity of that fucking book just because the book is such a shit book. Wasps are, in my view, uncategorically black-hearted pests that lives with the sole purpose of being an annoyance to any living being unfortunate enough to be in close proximity of it. Right then, with that being said, I've shitted on wasp long enough. So for the end of this video, I'm gonna keep on shitting on those fucking douchebags. Go donate to this charity. I've done all my research on this place. I sent $100 and it's not much, but I'm not being paid enough by YouTube at all. Or actually, I'm not being paid at all. So this is 100% my money. Yacha, fuck you, wasps.